Hello, my name is Lauren Carter, and I'm here to talk with all of you today. My dear friend Krista invited me on here, and when she told me about the opportunity, my heart just went out to all of you, honestly, because I feel like God has honestly been telling me recently, what did your younger self need to hear? And that's exactly what Krista asked me to do. She simply said, what did you need to hear when you were younger? And I couldn't help but feel like God was like, bingo. You know what I mean? So anyways, I am here today to chat with all of you. I'm so honored just that you're watching and that you're here with me. I want you to feel like kind of like we're sitting down for a cup of coffee. Currently, I'm in my living room sitting on the couch, just for a little bit of reference. But I want to go ahead and start off with prayer. So I'm going to open us up. God, I just thank you so much for this opportunity to speak into the girls' lives. I pray over each and every single girl who ever views this video. I pray that you would reach them and that you would bless them, God. I pray that my words wouldn't be my own during this time, but that you would just show up and show off. I pray that everything that comes out of my mouth would be honoring to you and that would point others more to you during this process, God. And I pray that whatever the girl on the other side of the screen is going through, no matter what that is, I pray you would be with her. I pray that you would let her know that she is seen and that she is loved and that she is chosen for you, God, that you have specifically designed her. And I pray that during this time together, we can bring more of your kingdom here on earth. In your name I pray. Amen. Well, I wanted to go ahead and tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Lauren. I went to school with Krista a couple of years ago. We went to Liberty together, so that was a lot of fun. That's where we met. Since then, I didn't do at all what I thought I was going to do after college. Kind of a heads up that way. Life did not turn out the way that I thought it would, but in every way it turned out the way that I needed it to, and the way that exemplified God more in my story than it would have if I had gone my way. So currently I work at a car dealership. Not super fancy, not super fun, but you know what? All to the glory of God. He's still glorified in that place. And I don't think that it's an accident that I work there. Other than that, however, I also have founded a ministry. I have founded She's Set Apart Ministries. You can go to shessetapart.com and check out all of the things that way. We have an Instagram. We're working on a Facebook group. We're working on all the fun things. So stay tuned. Go check us out for that matter. She's Set Apart is designed for girls just like you. It's designed for girls who want to see more of Jesus in their everyday life. All of us need Jesus, period. We want to kind of come alongside of you. We want to kind of champion you along because life gets hard. Life gets really hard. And it's not easy, but you know what? It's so much easier when you know that you have a community, when you know that you have other people who have either gone through the same thing as you or who are going through the same thing as you or who can relate on some level, because you're not alone. You're not alone. God is with you always, and we hope to be there for you as well. So go to shessetapart.com, go check out all of the fun there, and I can't wait to see you guys. If I could tell myself 3 biggest pieces of advice: find contentment where you are right now. Don't rush the process. I remember I spent so much time in school planning things out and trying to do certain things and make it perfect and do this and do that. And every time I ended up being more disappointed that it didn't turn out the way it did in my head, and it didn't turn out as pretty, or it wasn't as much fun as I thought it was going to be. And honestly, my biggest advice, find contentment where you are. Truly, there is contentment and there is joy in the exact moment that you are living in right now. Okay? If you would, flip to Philippians 4, 1 through 11 with me. I'm going to read them to you. So Philippians 4, 11 through 14, my apologies, says, I don't say this out of need, for I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances I find myself in. I know both how to make do with little, and I know how to make do with a lot. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being content, whether well fed or hungry, whether abundant or in need. I am able to do all things through him who strengthens me. That was Paul writing to the Philippians church. If you haven't read Philippians, great read. Highly suggest. But simply put, he's saying, find contentment exactly where you are, whether you have a lot, whether you have a little, whatever it is, okay? My next biggest piece of advice, okay, so number 2, is you were created for a purpose. You were created on purpose, for a purpose, for this exact moment, okay? In Esther, in chapter 4, Mordecai is talking to Esther, and he tells her, because she's been chosen to be a queen, right? And she has to go fight for her people. You can check it out in Esther 4. So Mordecai tells Esther, he says, if you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will come to the Jewish people from another place. But you and your father's family will be destroyed. Who knows? Perhaps you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. Okay, so he's encouraging her and letting her know that she was created for exactly this time. It was by a complete master design that she was there at this time. Whenever you think that, oh, I'm just at this school, or oh, I'm just at this church, or oh, I'm just a part of this group, or this part of friends, or this football team, or this cheerleading team, or this softball team. No, you weren't. You weren't just mishappenly put there for no reason. You weren't just, it wasn't an accident that you are there. You are there on purpose. Whatever that purpose is, I couldn't tell you. That's something you have to go to God for. He will show you what that is. Whether that's for you to exemplify more of Christ in that moment, in a moment where it's hard, in a moment where those people don't know Christ, or whether it's simply to be there for one teammate. Whatever it is, you are not there by accident. You are designed for a very specific purpose. Okay? Number 3. This is going to sound very cliche, but it's very true. Read your Bible and pray. Know your scriptures. Okay? Because if you are saved, and I'm not going to assume that everybody watching this is saved, but if you are, I'm speaking directly to you, okay? Satan can't touch you. Not if you're saved. He can't affect your salvation, okay? But he can, and he will do everything in his power to distract you from your purpose. Everything in his power to distract you from your purpose. Remember how I said just a second ago, you were created for a very specific purpose? Yeah. Satan can see in you a future. Satan can see in you potential. And if he is able to squash it before you've even had a chance to realize what it is, he will do that. He will do it without hesitation, because we are at war. We are at war with the enemy. a war that we cannot see, but it's very real. So my advice to you there, read your Bible and pray. Ephesians 6, you can flip to it with me, okay? Ephesians 6, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I am, however, going to highlight a few things, okay? So Ephesians 6, Christian warfare, okay? Verse 10, finally, be strengthened by the Lord and by his vast strength. Verse 11, put on the full armor of God so that you can stand against the schemes of the devil. Verse 12, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers and against the authorities and against the cosmic powers of this darkness, against evil spiritual forces in the heavens. Verse 13, for this reason, take up the full armor of God so that you may be able to resist the evil day and having prepared everything to take your stand. I know that it doesn't seem like it because we can't see that war. The verses just said we don't fight a physical battle. It's against powers of darkness. It's against spiritual forces. You may not think of yourself as someone who has much of an effect on that. But I'll tell you what, praying is powerful. Praying is essential. You may not know how to do it. You may think that, oh, I'm not qualified. I don't do very well at it. Who cares? Who cares? Praying is not meant to be this big, eloquent thing. Praying is meant to be a conversation between you and your Creator. It's just meant to be a conversation. Just like I'm having with you now. It's not supposed to be big or dramatic or crazy. It's supposed to be just like this. A conversation. You talk, he listens. Sometimes you listen. But it's not hard. Praying it's beautiful and it's essential. So wherever you are today, whatever it is you're doing, be encouraged. Find contentment in where you are. Know that you have a very specific purpose. And read your Bible and pray. If I could have given myself advice when I was younger, that's exactly what I would have said to myself. I didn't know how much I needed to hear that. But I can bet somebody on the other side of the screen needs to hear that. So, I'm going to close this out in prayer, okay? God, I thank you so much. I thank you so much that whoever watching this was able to watch it. I pray that you would bless them. I pray that you would keep them. I pray that you would guide their steps and light their path, God. I pray that if they don't know you, God, I pray that this would just be another step in the right direction of knowing more of you. Lord, I pray that this would not fall on deaf ears, that you would awaken someone to what it is you are calling them to, because I know that you have not called or created or done anything without a purpose. You are a God of order. You are a God that has a purpose for everything. I pray that you would just be with us, God. Let more of your glory shine through all of us. And in your name I pray. Amen. Well, I appreciate you watching till this point. If you've made it to this end, I thank you. And I pray you all have great days. Bye.